Welcome to BSC Designer. I'm Alexis, and in this video tutorial, I'll provide an overview of a typical risk setup and demonstrate how to define and monitor risks using our platform. Here I have an example of a scorecard with some risks. As defined by ISO standard, risk is the effect of uncertainty on objectives. This means we define risk in the context of certain objectives. That's exactly what we see in this scorecard. For example, in the learning and growth perspective, I have an objective: encourage innovation. With an action plan in mind, promote cross-functional collaboration. But we all know that it's not that easy to focus teams on innovative thinking. Accordingly, we have identified a risk: lack of employee engagement. Let's have a closer look at this risk. We have its basic properties like name, description, and owner. I also see the risk calculated, and I see the risk diagram showing me the inherent, residual, and acceptable risks. The risk metric is calculated using two indicators: likelihood and impact. On the data tab for these indicators, I see that in this case they are measured in percentages on scale from 0 to 100. I have a risk mitigation plan for this risk with a detailed plan for risk treatments, including supporting documents, timeline, and budget. Finally, I have an early sign indicator that helps me understand the risk better. All the risks from the scorecard are visualized on the dashboard. Here we have a heat map featuring all risks from this scorecard, the risk diagrams for specific risks, risk treatment plans with their respective statuses, and progress indicators. Also, we have the list of goals with risk estimation for them. Now, let's do a brief risk analysis and add a new risk to this scorecard. In the internal perspective, we have a goal: improve customer data processing with AI. Let's add a risk related to this goal. To add the risk, select the goal and click Add, and select the Add Risk option. The program created a risk template to fill in. The risk name can be data privacy violations. The risk mitigation plan might be implement robust data governance. Now I can enter the results of risk estimation. For likelihood, let's enter 80 as inherent level and 20 as target or acceptable level. For impact, let's enter 70 as inherent level and 30 as target level. Since we have not applied the risk treatment plan yet, the residual likelihood and residual impact should be equal to the inherent level. Let's have a look at the risk mitigation plan. I see the risk diagram displayed showing the inherent and residual risks. I can add more supporting details, assign a person responsible, or link to relevant documents. It's also a good idea to have progress indicator for this risk mitigation plan. Let's add an indicator called audit findings to track the number of issues identified in internal audits. Let's set a target of 20 audits for this month. Now I will drag and drop this indicator to the initiative and select to link by data. Now, let's imagine that we have started implementing the risk treatment plan. Let's track the risk over time and update the risk indicator with fresh data. To do this, I select the next month in the calendar and enter the updated data for both likelihood and impact indicators. The software records all the data. At any time, I can open the value editors and check the risk estimation for previous reporting period. I can also update the progress indicator for the risk treatment plan. For example, through audit, we have found 18 improvement points. Let's see what happened with the risk. I can see that the triangle icon moved from the inherent risk. We still have not achieved the level of acceptable risk, but we are moving in the right direction. I can switch between the dates in the internal calendar to track the evolution of the risk on the diagram. As for risk treatment initiative, I can see that its progress is now 90%. I can also switch to the dashboard. I see one more risk appeared on the risk heat map. I can also add a risk diagram to the dashboard. The risk is now fully set up and we're tracking it in our scorecard. To learn about more complex cases of risk management, I recommend watching another video where we explain additional possibilities for risk management on our platform. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact our customer support team.